Have you ever felt like everything is falling apart? Like the life you carefully built is crumbling, brick by brick, and you don't know why? Today, I want to talk about a story that might feel painfully familiar. It's the story of a man named Job, a man who had it all, and then, in an instant, had nothing. Imagine waking up one day to a life that feels like a dream. Job was that man. He was described as the greatest man among all the people of the East. He had a beautiful family, a thriving business, a respected reputation. He was righteous, he was good, he was blessed. His life was a testament to the idea that if you do the right things, good things will happen to you. But what happens when that equation gets flipped on its head? The story begins to unravel, slowly at first, then with terrifying speed. One messenger arrives, then another, and another, each carrying news of a fresh disaster. His oxen and donkeys, stolen. His sheep, consumed by fire from the sky. His camels, carried off by raiders. His servants, all gone. A lifetime of work, wealth, and security, wiped out in a single afternoon. Can you imagine the shock? The disbelief? The ground beneath his feet must have felt like it was splitting open. But Job, in his initial grief, held on. He went on his knees worship, saying, "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." A truly incredible response. But the storm wasn't over. The worst was yet to come. The next wave of tragedy didn't just take his possessions, it struck his very heart. Another messenger arrives, breathless and broken. The news is unthinkable. A freak windstorm caused the house where all his children were gathered to collapse. 10 children, gone. In a moment. This is the point where the story turns from a tale of loss to a gut-wrenching exploration of human suffering. The pain is no longer just financial, it's a raw, gaping wound in his soul. The man who had everything now has nothing but grief. The world that was once bright and full of promise is now just a silent, empty house. And just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. The attack becomes personal, intimate. Job is struck with a painful, debilitating skin disease from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. He's an outcast, sitting in ashes, scraping his sores with a piece of broken pottery. His body is failing him. His health is gone. His reputation is in tatters. Even his wife, seeing his suffering, tells him to just curse God and die. This is where Job's questions begin. This is where he starts to look up at the heavens and ask, why me? What did I do to deserve this? He cries out, he weeps, he wishes he had never been born. His days are filled with pain, and his nights are filled with terror. He searches for an answer, for a reason, for some kind of cosmic explanation for his agony. But all he gets is silence. Heaven seems closed. God seems distant, a silent observer to his torment. Then, his friends arrive. At first, they do the best thing they can. They just sit with him in silence for 7 days and 7 nights. They share in his grief. But then, they open their mouths. And they try to explain his suffering away. They tell him he must have sinned. He must have done something wrong to deserve this. They have all the easy answers, the neat theological boxes to put his pain into. But Job knows that's not it. He defends his integrity, not out of pride, but out of a desperate need for the truth. He argues with them, he challenges them, and all the while, he continues to cry out to God. If only I knew where to find him, if only I could go to his dwelling. I would state my case before him and fill my mouth with arguments. He wants his day in court. He wants a chance to be heard. He doesn't want easy answers, he wants God. Through chapter after chapter of raw, poetic anguish, Job lays his soul bare. He questions God's justice, his fairness, his goodness. These aren't the polite, Sunday school questions. They are the screams of a man on the brink, a man whose faith is being tested by fire. And for 37 chapters, the silence from heaven is deafening. His friends offer condemnation, his body offers pain, and God offers nothing. It's in this silence that the story becomes so deeply relatable. Haven't we all been there? In that place of waiting, of questioning, where our prayers seem to hit the ceiling and fall back down. Where we feel utterly alone in our suffering, misunderstood by those around us, and abandoned by the one we thought would always be there. And then, finally, after all the tears, all the arguments, all the silence, God speaks. But what he says is not what anyone expects. He doesn't answer Job's questions. He doesn't give a list of reasons for the suffering. He doesn't explain the cosmic bet that started it all. He doesn't say, "Job, here's why this happened." Instead, God responds with questions of his own. He speaks from a whirlwind storm, and he shows Job his power, his majesty, his unfathomable wisdom. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me, if you understand. You marked off its dimensions. Surely you know. On what were its footings set, or who laid its cornerstone while the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy? He takes Job on a tour of creation. He talks about the oceans, the stars, the wild animals, the weather. He reveals a universe so vast, so complex, so intricately woven together that it defies human understanding. The point isn't to belittle Job, but to expand his perspective. God isn't giving Job an answer, he's giving him himself. He's revealing his character. He's showing Job that he is in control, that his wisdom is far beyond human comprehension, and that he is present, even when he seems silent. The answer to Job's suffering wasn't a reason. It was a relationship. It wasn't an explanation. It was a revelation of God's presence. And in that moment, seeing God for who he truly is, Job is changed. He says, "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. Therefore I despise myself and repent in dust and ashes." He isn't repenting for some secret sin his friends accused him of. He's repenting for his limited view of God. He realizes that demanding answers from the creator of the universe is like a single drop of water trying to understand the entire ocean. True peace came not from understanding his circumstances, but from seeing the one who was in control of them. The story doesn't end there. In the final chapter, God restores Job's life. He gives him double what he had before. A new family, new wealth, a long and full life. The restoration is beautiful, but it's not the main point of the story. The main point is what happened in the middle, in the dust and ashes. The true healing wasn't the return of his possessions, it was the encounter with God in the storm. Job's story teaches us that sometimes, there are no easy answers to the question of why. Suffering is a deep, painful mystery. But it also teaches us that even in the darkest night, and the most profound silence, we are not alone. God's presence is the answer that quiets our deepest fears. He may not give us the explanation we want, but he offers us the presence we need. He meets us not with a formula, but with himself. So if you're in a season of loss, if you're asking why and hearing only silence, take heart from Job's story. It's okay to have questions. It's okay to cry out. Your pain is real and it is seen. But hold on. Don't let go of the belief that even when you can't see him or feel him, the creator of the morning stars is with you in the storm. The answer may not be an explanation, but a person. And his presence is more than enough. Thanks so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that dives deep into the stories that shape us. Until next time, take care.